Good evening and welcome to the Estadio Florencio Sola here in Argentina. I'm your host Matt Lawrence, bringing you the first game of the CONMEBOL Sudamericana Group C action between Banfield and Santos. Joining Banfield of Argentina and Santos of Brazil in this Group C are Universidad Católica of Ecuador and Unión Calera of Chile, who face off in Ecuador at the same time as this match. Both Banfield and Santos here will be hoping for an upturn in form. Banfield have lost 3 of their last 4 league games, and Santos have not played since March the 19th because they couldn't even progress through the group stages of their Paulista State League. There is a lot to play for here tonight as Group C gets underway. Here is the home dressing room. Certainly a difference in ages there of those 2 shirts. Bologna, the goalkeeper, very experienced at 40 years of age, and Cruz just 22 years of age, the academy product. This was the home team arriving earlier on this evening off the back of a 2-0 home loss to Argentinos Juniors over the weekend. And this, of course, the giants of Brazil, Santos, maybe not quite so gigantic over the last couple of years, but still a name that is synonymous throughout the world and certainly South America. Here are those Santos players arriving at the Estadio Florencio Sola just a couple of hours ago. We highlighted a couple of players from each side, and Giuliano Galoppo, the 22-year-old Argentine central midfielder, is somebody we've highlighted for Banfield. In the 8 league games he's got so far this season, he's scored 4 goals. This is that Banfield lineup. 2 changes from their league loss at the weekend. Out go Franco Quinteros and Juan Alvarez, and in comes Ian Escobar, the left back, and Jeremias Parrales, the attacker. Some good names on the bench for Banfield. Eric Lopez, obviously very familiar to the North American audience, joining from Atlanta United. And this, the player we have highlighted for Santos, Maicon, only joined very recently, March the 8th of 2022 from Cruzeiro on a free. He will be hoping to shore up the defence of this relatively porous Santos side. João Paulo, the captain, the 26-year-old Brazilian, in goal. Certainly Kaiki, the 28-year-old, or number 28, the centre-half, is another player to watch out for, managed of course by Fabian Bustos, who hasn't been there long but knows Santos from last season when he was in charge of Barcelona of Ecuador. And they actually knocked Santos out of the group stages of the Copa Libertadores. Certainly both teams will be hoping for a strong start here this evening. Conditions pretty perfect for a game of football. Crowds have been streaming into this ground here in Banfield, Argentina, just 14 kilometers south of the city centre of Buenos Aires. Been streaming in all night long. Banfield, of course, a city in the district of Lomas de Zamora in the Buenos Aires province of Argentina. Not Buenos Aires city itself, but certainly forms part of the greater Buenos Aires metro area. And the fans are getting up for this already. The shirts synonymous with Banfield, those green and white stripes that adorn so many of the younger and old faces here in the crowd here at Florencio Sola. The fans are trying to forget the league form. 3 losses in the last 4 league games. They sit 7th out of the 14 teams in their zone, Banfield. They are only 3 points out of the playoffs, so it's a very shortened Argentine season, partly because of the World Cup. Only 14 league games played. And then the 4 teams from Zone A and Zone B go through to the playoffs, obviously quarters, semis and the final. Banfield aren't that far off. They've won 3, drawn 2 and lost 3 of their league games. And of course, the giants of Brazil, Santos, don't get their Brasileiro season underway until this weekend when they play against Fluminense. Two teams very much full of trepidation here. Banfield in the green and white stripes, and Santos in their all-white chain strip. The Brazilians of Santos, of course. Most people know Santos from the 1960s era team that won numerous trophies, and of course had the great Pelé as their leader back then. Thank you so much for joining us from Banfield here in Argentina. Good evening, everybody. Final score, Banfield 1, Santos 0. Good night.